Hi, Shock and Law, back here to tell you a bit more about my life and my credibility in the sex industry world. So, I knew I was gay when I was 5, and I had my first perv at 6 years of age. I spent a long time wondering when I was going to have my first sexual experience, and that was very frustrating. But I was very aware at a young age, so never for 1 second assumed to understand the intelligence of a child. Its awareness and knowledge of what's going on around it, or its understanding of the world. By the time I was 6, I knew all about how a man and woman were constructed and what happened to make babies. I had not been told, and I had never seen or heard any of this information from anyone or anything such as books or any other media. I totally believe that this knowledge came from latent memory, and even at such a young age, I believe that this was how I knew so much about the world and had such an extreme understanding of what was going on around me. Latent memory could be either in our genes or from a previous life. I haven't yet worked that one out. But I dreamt about that hot young guy every night for 6 months or more. I wanted to touch every little bit of him. It was ever present, it was overwhelming, and I loved it. There were no others for quite some time after that. I did perv all the time, but no one left an impact like the first one. My family used to travel a lot, and we used to often stay in caravan parks with community showers and toilets. I did my best to be using those facilities on my own whenever I could, so I could try to get picked up by anyone who wanted me. This was between the ages of 12 through to 18. Believe me, I knew what I wanted and was incensed that other people would presume to decide for me when I could start my sex life. It was no one else's business what I did, and it still isn't. Unfortunately, it took a while before it happened, but when it did, it was like creating a monster. There was no stopping me. Throughout school, I had a few chances, but was oblivious until later on when it hit me hard that I had missed out on some opportunities to join those lucky people that were having sex. It was not until some years later at school reunions that I was told by some friends that they were gay and had wanted me so much during those school years. While I was missing out, they were all getting off with each other and with our teachers. It seems that it was prolific. I don't think there is much society can do to stop it. Students will always have sex with whoever they want because it is not them that the law seeks to stop, and the students know it. My first encounter was in a train station toilet. I had gone there legitimately and discovered a hole in the wall. I looked through to see a guy wanking, my first real life vision, and it was so hot and sexual just to get that glimpse. But I had relatives waiting, so I resolved to go back the next day and see what went down. So I had my first time there, and since then I've had sex over 40,000 times with over 30,000 guys and about 60 women. For the first 17 years I focused on beats and gay saunas. It was nothing for me to have an average of 6 guys a day, even up to 12 some days. I would walk into a beat at night and hear car doors shutting as other guys followed me in. They would ask, "You're so-and-so, aren't you?" I'm not using my real name, mate. A friend told me the guy in that car gives the best head. My reputation for giving the best head as well as the best sex preceded me wherever I went. I didn't even try, it was so easy. I went looking and they all flocked to me. For all that, I still managed to have a career, a social life and study, and only spent a relatively small amount of money on sex. But I did spend a hell of a lot of time looking for it and having it. So given that I have never paid for sex, and given that I have mostly lived a normal life and balanced life, I do not consider myself to be a sex addict. I am just someone who has availed himself of every opportunity to look for it and enjoy it. Now it is possible that given I crave sex and physical contact at such a young age, that if I had been able to get into it more easily earlier, I would not have been so frustrated later on and lived life with less focus on spending so much time looking for it and getting it. I have a friend who voluntarily would go to local parks at a very young age, and he was worn out and didn't want it anymore by the time he was 30, but that didn't happen to me. My beat and sauna experiences continued unabated for 17 years. If anything, I kept getting more and more hotter sex the older I got. More and more guys wanted me, and on average, they were getting younger and hotter than ever before. That has continued now for 31 years, and the average of my conquests still keeps getting hotter and younger. And I know why that is. It's because the other guys' issues about self-esteem and their comfort zone. The younger guys are, the more they are inexperienced and the more they are willing to learn. They know they can learn more from an older guy. Also, if they are insecure or out of their comfort zone, they will go for someone older, fatter, uglier, etc. But in my case, older and more experienced. I have endeavoured on a daily basis since I was 12 to try to age as slowly as possible, for only one reason: so I could get as much sex as I possibly could throughout my life. Exercise, skincare, attitude and general personal presentation for me have been my number 2 priorities all my life, and still only slightly behind my number 1 priority, which was to have as much fun as I could. Not just sex, but fun in general, and to minimise stress as much as I could. Having heaps of sex and not necessarily coming is probably the major factor in minimising the effects of growing old. When we have sex, our bodies produce chemicals, natural happy drugs, and the science world believes this has many benefits too. Hey, look it up. I'm not an expert, but I know it's true. The older guys are insecure about their looks and abilities. While they lust for the feel of having a young guy, they are often scared to actually do this when they want one, so may turn to someone else in between in age. Not so young, but not too old either. 35 is most definitely the optimum age for anyone active on the scene that is happy with guys 18 years or younger or 18 years older, and anyone in between. So if you're around that age group, I hope you're milking it for all you can get. Even as you get to the age of 50 or 55, if you have looked after yourself, you will get hot 10-pack 18-year-olds regularly, as well as athletic and still very haveable guys older than you. It's worth the effort to take care of yourself. It helps to dress and act right. Keep up with music, fashion and technology, but don't make a fool of yourself. So that's why I still get heaps of hot sex after 31 years, and the logic behind why it will continue for a long time yet. Nearly 13 years ago, one of my flatmates moved out. I had done a one-day massage course and thought to myself, what if I put an ad in the adult section of the local paper and offer a Swedish massage with a hand job and the possibility of more at no extra cost if we liked each other, to see if I could make enough money to cover the absence of my missing flatmate. On the first day, the phone rang at 8:30 in the morning. I decided to go out and do out calls, and that first day I did 4 in a row. 3 were hot, but all of them came on to me and I loved every minute of it. I was stunned. I just got paid to do what I would have done for free. By the second week I was getting repeat business. I hadn't stopped to think that this would happen, so I was extremely surprised and happy. It did heaps for my self-esteem and my confidence in my new idea. Since then I have expanded into 16 local papers and 1 gay magazine. Over the years I've had so many amazing experiences. I've developed a huge customer base and a huge following of regular friends. Regardless, they have all been seeing me for up to 14 years now. In some cases they have had no sex with anyone else since I met them. In other cases it might be just their wives or girlfriends. But I'm the only guy. As a worker, I have always averaged 3 to 4 first-timers a week. Some have been total virgins, others have had women but no guys before. Virgins are so much fun. It used to be a huge sexual turn-on for me to have a virgin. Now it is more of an honour. They will remember me for the rest of their lives. I've had maybe 2,000 virgins or first-timers in 14 years. I've had hundreds of threesomes too. In some cases with a guy and a girl, both the girl I worked with and a couple and couples that visit me over the years. Now you know a lot about me and my background, my credibility, my experiences. I know what's going on in society. I hope you enjoy learning about selling yourself if you'd like to be a gay male escort, because I'm going to teach you to do that, and having great sex and hearing my opinions on religion and relationships. I also hope you all enjoy blogging and swapping ideas and opinions with other subscribers about the fun world of sex. Have a great day, guys. Bye.